Yo. Um, okay. So, day one, we got like 5 minutes, 5 minutes through a 20-minute video, and just kind of dumped a bunch of studies here that ideally actually go through and review. Which is cool. Having a list of studies is great, but if you look at, by the end, we're getting unhinged. There's studies here about how smoking impacts certain diseases, and the groundbreaking studies that demonstrated a link of smoking to lung cancer. So instead of researching on the fly and like trying to find sources and not taking the time to evaluate them properly, we're just gonna try to commit to getting through the rest of the 15 minutes today, and just writing down all of the claims being made, kind of evaluating them. I have a background in biochemistry and math, so I don't know. It's easy for me to speedrun this stuff because I can see a few key things, and it's robbing you of the experience. But yeah, write down the claims, evaluate them, and then we'll make a list of. And then we'll have a list of things that we can research once we know the full picture, the whole narrative that's being pitched here.
My God, soy is extremely bad for us, right? First and foremost, it has the hormonal disruption. So it has isoflavone.
Okay. Hormonal disruption. I don't think it's true. I mean, there are phytoestrogens for sure, but I don't think they. Whatever. Well, depends on the ingredient, I guess.
Which are basically phytoestrogens. And
okay, yeah. So, isoflavines. Phytoestrogens. Yeah, phytoestrogens. It's not real estrogen. It's just something that like mimics the activity of estrogen. Pretty sure. Kind of. They're, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Hormonal disruption. Isoflavines. Got it.
the keys in the name there, estrogen. Why, as a man, would you want to be taking in estrogen?
Okay. The key word here is estrogen. Why, as a man, would you want to be taking in estrogen? This is like faulty logic, obviously. Like, I don't know if we're judging stuff based on the name alone with no more analysis from that. A little wild,
Basically mimics estrogen in the body, potentially leading to hormone imbalances.
Yeah, all men have estrogen. Like all humans have both estrogen, androgen, testosterone. It's just in very different levels comparatively. So yeah, I mean, like as a man, like I don't know, like if you were like a power lifter who's doing steroids, you would want to be taking in estrogen because you have to cycle off the roids, and if you want to do things the right way. I mean, don't do steroids. Steroids are not great. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to take in estrogen because males have it. They're not completely devoid of it. So.
And phytoestrogens, and the keys in the name there, estrogen. why as a man would you want to be taking in estrogen? It basically mimics estrogen in the body, potentially leading to hormone imbalances. And this has been a point of concern, especially for men, because we're high.
Okay. Can potentially lead to hormone imbalance, especially in men. So yeah, like obviously he's not qualifying any of his claims here, or well, he's starting with a strong claim and then like retreating to a weaker claim. Isoflavians cause hormone disruption is very different than they have the potential to especially for men. That's a much weaker claim.
Soy consumption is estrogens, and the keys in the name there, estrogen. Why as a man would you want to be taking in estrogen? It basically mimics estrogen in the body, potentially leading to hormone imbalances. And this has been a point of concern, especially.
And also, whatever, this is getting really pedantic and nitpicky, but like, why would you want to be taking an estrogen? Is again not the same claim as why would you want to be taking something that mimics estrogen? And again, he obviously doesn't know what estrogen does, so it's kind of a weird thing. And we'll add that here. Mimics estrogen in the body.
For men, because where high soy consumption leads to lower testosterone level.
Okay. High soy consumption results in lower testosterone. Yeah. Also, I hear a lot of right-wing grifters like this. I talk about this like testosterone crisis. Like testosterone's been going down for forever. I don't think it has. I think all of the studies show that it's been pretty tight. It's been not wildly all over the place. Average testosterone levels are a pretty like wide clinical value already. It's like testosterone average range. Oh, what is the word for that? Fuck. But yeah, normal range is between 300 and 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. So yeah, we're talking about like a scale of 30, which is wild. But anyway, yeah, the range is pretty wild, and but yeah, the average hasn't been falling significantly in recent history. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
Levels. Hence the name Soy Boy. He has a high.
Hence the name Soy Boy. Maybe.
Pitched voice, can't grow a beard, like all soy consumption leads to lower testosterone levels. Hence the name Soy Boy. He has a high pitched voice, can't grow a beard,
high pitch voice. What? Can't grow a beard. It's ironic because like the reason like patchy beards happen is some flavor of testosterone that's also linked to baldness. So if you grow a patchy beard, you're less likely to go bald. Yeah, or at least so I've heard.
Like all this kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? He's balding like prematurely, all this kind of shit.
Balding prematurely. Which yeah, again, I think is also an effect of high levels of testosterone. But hey.
Then also soy affects your thyroid function. So there's the
Okay. Thyroid function.
been debates over this, but studies suggest that it interferes with the thyroid, really all this kind of shit. Then also soy affects your thyroid function. So there's been debates over this, but
there's been debates over this. Okay, yeah, it's weird to start with that strong claim of like, oh, it affects your thyroid function. There's been debates over this, so that means like this data is probably contested, or not very clear or conclusive.
Studies suggest that it interferes with the thyroid production, which leads to iodine deficiencies.
Wait, what?
And affects your thyroid function. So there's been debates over this, but studies suggest that it interferes with the thyroid production.
Interferes with the thyroid production. Because your body produces thyroids, leading to iodine deficiency. Fuck. Fish. Let's see. Okay, so whatever, it's fine. Science should be accessible. Shouldn't be afraid of being wrong. So I think what's probably talking about here is whatever, I don't know, something like goitrins. But yeah, there is an ingredient in soy, or like a part of a compound in soy that can have an impact on your iodine absorption, and iodine is very important for your thyroid function. But yeah, if you can't absorb the iodine, or rather if the iodine is getting sucked out and you're not getting any iodine, then your thyroid is going to suffer. But like, this isn't yes, a thing in soy can do this, so maybe don't have soy for every meal, or rather, that part of soy for every meal, because again, this is a specific compound that has a name. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of hemming and hawing about these like anti-nutrients, which I'm sure you might go into. Yeah.
Which leads to iodine deficiencies and shit like that. Then again, there's digestive issues, so it's like the amount of
Okay. Digestion.
And shit like that.
Okay.
Then again, there's digestive issues, so it's like the amount of anti-nutrients that are in this stuff. The same with seed oils as well. It's actually
anti-nutrients. Okay. Also in seed oil as well. I'm going to recall this is the same person who was saying that all this hyper-processed seed oil is stripped of all its nutrients, and apparently the only thing left is the anti-nutrients. Curious.
Not only interfering with the absorption of like how you actually absorb minerals and vitamins in your body, it's actually extracting out vitamins.
Affecting not only affecting how you absorb minerals and vitamins, but also extracting them from your body. That's a wild claim. There's definitely some stuff in isolation. If you if you expose an animal model to a high dose of a certain thing, yeah, there's like, this is all like mechanistic data, most likely, because it's showing the potential to impact iodine absorption, but like that's not any proof that like I don't know, like we would have to find a study that shows that like people who eat more soy have lower iodine levels, right? So you'd want to find some human outcome randomized clinical trial data for that if possible. But yeah, so the absorption thing kind of true, but the extracting, I very highly doubt that that's true.
And minerals out of your body as well. So it's like, again, it's just, why are they pushing this shit? Again, it's basically to make you sick. So
Why are they pushing this shit? So obviously, question here is, who is pushing it? Big vegetable. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, who's pushing the shit? Like, I mean, there's a soybean lobby, I'm sure, for soybean farmers so that they, can grow their crops and, we can have locally grown food or whatever the fuck it is that these people are supposed to care about. But yeah, I mean, who is they? It'd be a great question to know the answer to.
so they can send you to the doctor, essentially.
To keep you sick. Hang on.
Then and minerals out of your body as well. So it's like, again, it's just, why are they pushing this shit? Again, it's basically to make you sick so they can send you to the doctor, essentially.
Keep you sick and send you to the doctor. And again, the doctors we're talking about here are the ones who told you that smoking was good for you. And also bad for you, and now they're saying that seed oils are good, but actually they're bad, and we can tell by all of the all of the studies that he cited that are not paid off by big meat, or like, do you think there's not like a national dairy association or something, or whatever? Maybe they don't have that over across the pond, but yeah, I mean, like, if big vegetable exists, why doesn't big meat exist?
Then there's potential cognitive decline. There's other studies that
Potential cognitive, yeah, that's on you. Cognitive decline. All right, I don't think I've heard this one before.
pushing this shit. Again, it's basically to make you sick so they can send you to the doctor, essentially. Then there's potential cognitive decline. There's other studies that suggest the high consumption of processed soy will lead to like brain fog.
High consumption of processed soy will lead to brain fog. All right.
And shit like that. You can't really think straight, and then you basically, like, you have attention disorders that are starting to prop up now.
Leads to attention deficit disorders. The plethora of attention deficit disorders that exist. There are several. I think they kind of refine the categories of attention deficit disorders every DSM. But like, it's a family or like class of disorders for sure.
As well, and we have reproductive disorders.
Reproductive disorders. Is this distinct from the soy stuff? Oh wait, these are all three, aren't they? Whatever. Listen, we'll go add the headings later. All right.
Excessive soy consumption can be linked to reproductive issues, and this is not just men. This is also women.
Both sexes doesn't matter. High soy consumption leads to reproductive issues in both men and women.
Women as well. So basically, it'll make you infertile, or it'll strongly.
It will make you infertile. Okay.
Drive down your fertility rate as well.
Drive down your fertility rate as well. Okay. So it'll make you infertile and drive down your fertility rate, which are distinct claims, obviously, which is why I'm putting them in the same sentence.
And you have your cardiovascular health. While soy has been praised for
cardiovascular health. Listen, CVH. Give the times.
it'll make you infertile, or it'll strongly drive down your fertility rate as well. Then you have your cardiovascular health. While soy has been praised for reducing cholesterol, and we'll get into this when we're in the meat section, just because it lowers your cholesterol.
Soy lowers your cholesterol.
Doesn't mean that your cholesterol is healthy. Your cholesterol, or depending on what way you want.
Or cholesterol doesn't mean healthier. Okay, we're gonna be super charitable here. But whatever, we've been super charitable this whole time. Okay. Yeah, that's true-ish. Yeah, there's, whatever. Cholesterol is, again, a class of molecule. Or rather, whatever. We'll deep dive into this rabbit hole later. But yeah, you have like low density cholesterol and high density cholesterol, and like those are broken down into, different types. So yeah, cholesterol isn't just like a thing, just like one like molecule that's just like in food and throughout your body. It's actually, yeah, whatever. It's a little bit more complicated than that. There's a lot of modifications, for different functions. But yeah, we'll look back into that.
And look at it, to define whether or not your cholesterol level is healthy, it comes down to the ratio.
What? Okay, so is ratio of HDL. We can HDL, LDL, more important. Yeah, we're putting this in quotes like an asshole.
Is healthy. Your cholesterol, or depending on what way you want to look at it, to define whether or not your cholesterol level is healthy, it comes down to the ratio of your cholesterol, not just your total cholesterol. Because again, we're all different. Some people have higher cholesterols naturally than others. Then they'll just try to sell them more drugs.
Okay, we hate big pharma, I guess. People naturally have different cholesterol levels, and big pharma is using that it's weaponizing that to sell you drugs you don't need. I mean, you can't prove that wrong, I guess. But it is kind of crazy.
Can't remember the name of it. It was like Stimps or something like that. And it basically
Stints do something. Oh god.
This is the drug to try and lower your cholesterol. Because you're using that, it actually causes you to have more health or heart conditions, essentially.
Stints cause lower cholesterol, but fuck up CBH. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So statins is what you give to treat blood pressure, right? And stints is a class of cholesterol lowering. I don't know. Take him at his word here. Thinking of a different stint, so but it might be used in other ways, or he might not be pronouncing it right. I don't know.
And again, because of the phytoestrogen, basically it's just a drug to try and lower your cholesterol. Because you're using that, it actually causes you to have more health or heart conditions, essentially. And again, because of the phytoestrogen content in this as well. So again, cancer risks as well. Soy's role in cancer. Some studies.
Okay. Moved on to cancer.
Suggesting it, because you're using that, it actually causes you to have more health or heart conditions, essentially. And again, because of the phytoestrogen content in this as well. So again, cancer risks as well. Soy's role in cancer. Some studies suggesting it has a protective effect against certain cancer, while others warn about potential risks, particularly in breast cancer due
Increased risk of cancer. Especially breast cancer. Soy causes cancer, apparently. Okay.
to its estrogen-like effects. And then, like,
Breast cancer, because of its estrogen-like effects. Yeah, I think that is like even in hormonal birth control. I think one of like the rare side effects is breast cancer. With yeah, I think that is actually technically not a contraindication, not a comorbidity. Whatever. Yeah, it's a rare side effect of contraception. Pretty sure.
like I said, just to kind of go over some of the anti-nutrients in soy, phytates. So these.
Okay. So we're back to all right. Anti-nutrients.
Combined to minerals, particularly in breast cancer due to its estrogen-like effects. And then, like I said, just to kind of go over some of the anti-nutrients in soy, phytates. So these combine to minerals like zinc, iron, and calcium, reducing their absorption in the gut. We have trypsin inhibitors. These can interfere with the digestion of proteins.
Fuck. Trypsin. Okay, it's called trypsin. In America at least. Binds to minerals like calcium and zinc. Trypsin inhibitors. Jesus.
Then, like I said, just to kind of go over some of the anti-nutrients in soy, phytates. So these combine to minerals like zinc, iron, and calcium, reducing their absorption in the gut. We have trypsin inhibitors. These can interfere with the digestion of proteins by inhibiting enzymes like
interferes with digestion of proteins.
trypsin. These can interfere with the digestion of proteins by inhibiting enzymes like trypsin. Lectins. Lectins are found in many foods. Soy contains a form which resist current cooking methods, potentially leading to the digestive issues. And again,
okay, so trypsin, trypsin. Okay, listen, it's not funny. It's okay. It's the only way you learn how to pronounce words is to pronounce them wrong. Just fine. But yeah, it's trypsin. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. I forget the name of it. Oxalate? it a different thing? Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, trypsin is a digestive enzyme in your gut that um actually I don't remember exactly what it breaks down. Okay, why trypsin though? Chains, serine protease from beta glucan. Okay. I know the trip is like it's a prefix that means something. I forgot what it means. Whatever. It's a protein that yeah, basically takes you don't digest individual amino acids. They're generally linked together in some sort of way. And yeah, it helps start chopping those up for your body to break down into amino acids and use for your body.
Interfering with your nutrient absorption. Gaito.
What's this? Cooking methods interferes with absorption.
Current cooking methods potentially leading to the digestive issues and again interfering with your nutrient absorption.
Okay, so therefore digestive issues and interferes with absorption. Okay, I don't know if digestive issues and interferes with absorption are synonyms here. Like I don't know how he's using like these phrases. It sounds like he's just saying the same thing twice to pad this out. Kind of like how I'm dragging this stream on forever.
Goitrins. These are compounds that interfere with iodine uptake in the thyroid, and this is why we're saying it leads to potential thyroid issues because it's interfering with.
All right, goitrins. That's okay. Is that what that is? I don't remember what the fucking goitrin is, but yeah, interferes with I2 uptake. Cool.
Iodine intake or absorption, and then you have isoflavines, which are beneficial in moderation, but high levels of these
for thyroid problems. Isoflavines. Okay, so we have looped back around. The beginning. I feel like we like ran down from the top of the list to the bottom and then back up again. I feel like, yeah, he opened the soy stuff. Okay, whatever. Not that I'm here to judge, because I'm probably just as disorganized here. What am I looking for? Isoflavines. Isoflavines. This was here before, right? Okay, so isoflavines are the phytoestrogens? Question mark. Okay, whatever. Isoflavines
are phytoestrogens, which can lead to hormonal imbalances, which is why you're seeing increased estrogen in men, and also why the whole kind of like soy boy phenomenon has come around.
Okay, so increased average estrogen has increased in men because of soy consumption. Okay. That's different than lowering testosterone. And it's also like, it wouldn't, if you put a compound that mimics estrogen into your body, like you exist as a human in a state of homeostasis. Um, you adapt to, like if you're artificially supplementing, a lot of or most of the stuff in your body will compensate for that. So if you're, eating a bunch of stuff that's mimicking estrogen, your body will probably over time produce less estrogen because it already has it, or like the effect that, like, I mean, it's evolutionarily advantageous in several ways. Of it makes you more adaptable, in that like you're less likely to hit excessive levels because your body will just kind of downregulate that. And it also saves you the effort of having to make it yourself, really. Ironically, I'm pretty sure testosterone is converted into estrogen. So maybe having too much testosterone is leading to higher estrogen. That's not true at all, probably. But,
Then you have oxalates, which again are not high in other foods, but they basically contain. And then this is how you get kidney stones. And then you have tannins.
Oxalates. This is how you get kidney stones. Yeah, I think oxalates are implicated in higher occurrence of kidney stones in isolation in certain animal models.
Which are also kind of bind to dietary minerals, reduce.
He also said tannins. Fuck. Tannins bind to minerals. Okay.
Reducing your bioavailability, which are also kind of bind to dietary minerals, reducing your bioavailability. So it's basically like soy is like preventing you from being able to absorb minerals, and then it's also putting estrogen in your system. Very, very.
Okay, so I think we're at the end of the soy section. So basically, soy is stopping you from absorbing nutrients and increasing estrogen. Okay. So, key point probably to check in with is that he has gestured vaguely at studies, but he has not shown any of them. He hasn't pulled any of them up. He hasn't cited a name of one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he read any of these studies at all. Fairly confident making that judgment at this point.
Very bad for you. So I just want to kind of like final.
Okay, so and is very bad for you. So, and then again, just to like kind of zoom out, do like the macro thing. We've talked about polyunsaturated fatty acids in soy. Like, I feel like there are other plant things that you could eat. I don't know. There's whole grains. Do they have all this stuff? There's, kale, spinach, potatoes. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, he's advocating for the carnivore diet, trying to discredit all of the vegetables, but instead of hitting all of them at once, he's trying to be like, well, soy bad, polyunsaturated fatty acids bad, so therefore, like, meat only. I don't know. I guess So human psychology generally dictates that people start with their strongest evidence. So if his strongest thing is trying to fearmonger about PUFAs and soy, and not mentioning anything else, and not starting with the pros of eating meat, it means that his case for eating meat is weaker than his case for or his case against PUFAs and soy. And yeah, I don't know, I have low expectations for many or all of these claims being true.
Finally, just talk about the positives of meat consumption, because you're going to hear a lot of shit about red meat's so bad for you. Oh my god, meat is so bad. We need to save the animals and all this.
Okay, so we moved on to meat. Okay, cool. So currently he's provided you evidence that you should stop consuming polyunsaturated fatty acids, except for the ones that are good for you or beneficial sometimes. But instead of hitting literally any other like vegetable, like, yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy to just scoop all these like several categories of fucking the vegetables, put them all in the same box, and be like, yeah, they're all bad. Yeah, I mean, you've only provided evidence for maybe two things. Like even if all of the shit is true, you haven't, which it might not be. Like, I don't, you're taking a bunch of individual compounds, isolating them, and like taking the worst case scenario and using that to further your argument, which is, yeah, I don't know, it's just bad faith hackery. Just bad. You shouldn't do that. God damn it.
This bollocks. It doesn't make us. Anytime you have a vegan who comes up to you and says, we need to care for animals.
Okay. They are always saying that red meat is bad for you. Again, the obvious question: who? Big broccoli? Big corn? Like who? Who is they?
Red meat's so bad for you. Oh my god, meat is so bad. We need to save the animals and all this bollocks. It doesn't make us. Anytime you have a vegan who comes up to you and says, we need to care for animals.
Okay, so he's deriding vegans here for caring about animals. If you're not a vegan for because you think it's a better or healthier diet for you, and it's an ethical thing. It's like actually, like, eating meat is really good, but I value animal life. I mean, that's not a like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I don't know. You're not comparing like things here. Like, vegans and vegetarians are making like super duper, or I don't know. They're not characterized by making strong claims about their diet. I mean, I'm sure some of them do, but like, if you're an ethical vegan, then it's not being driven by like biology or any of these studies that you're talking about. It's being driven by a moral framework. So I don't know, it's a weird thing to cite.
So killing animals is bad. Think about it like this: if all you eat is beef, the one animal you will literally.
If all you eat is beef,
Bite to the tooth and nail, like you will give your life up for, is a cow.
you would give your life up for a cow. Okay, no, sorry, he said this a little bit more dramatically. If all you eat is beef, the one animal you would give your life up for is a cow, right? I believe that was the full statement.
This. If all you eat is beef, the one animal you will literally bite to the tooth and nail, like you will give your life up for, is a cow. Because if your whole diet is beef, then you can't live without cows.
If your whole diet is beef, You can't live without cows. So to correct this statement, if your whole diet is beef, you can't live without cows dying. Yeah, they have to be alive. They have to be not, exterminated. Like if we hunt cows into extinction, then you're gonna die if you eat nothing but cow. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And yeah, the whole point, is that like killing an animal is equivalent to murder. There's just, I don't know, he's just pointing to the cow's life and just ignoring the part at the end. It's like, oh yeah, well we take, even some places take really good care of their animals and feed them well and treat them nice and don't, like they're not factory farms. Yeah, like that's basically like a pet up until you take it into the barn and murder it, which is the main issue that ethical vegans have with eating animals. So I this is the most like disingenuous hack fuck argument I've ever heard in my entire life. But yeah, and like if you're dying for people aren't dying for cows, we can get more cows. Like I don't even know like what that makes like what like so if someone's trying to steal your cows, you're gonna fight tooth and nail for them. You're gonna die for your cows if you're live in rural bumfuck nowhere, and someone's trying to like steal your cows. I'm disappointed in people.
Whereas the vegans who don't give a fuck about cows, they have no reason to keep cows around.
Vegans don't give a fuck about cows and don't have a reason to keep them around. Now again, this is the most disingenuous hack fuck state. Like I don't know. I literally just said this. And now I've been topped. This is the most like disingenuous hack fuck statement I've ever heard in my life. The whole point of ethical vegans is that like they care about animal life and like want to preserve it for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. Depends on how rigorously they've thought about it, but yeah, again, like the whole point is they don't want you murdering all of the cows, like, and you're implying that they're just gonna let them all like die because they don't need them, and they're just gonna replace cows with like soybean farms. Like, what the fuck is this point? Like, how did you come up with it? Like, why did you think that this was convincing? I.
And now you see now where it's like they're trying to say, oh, well, cows are causing global warming because they're farting.
Cows are causing global warming. We should kill them and eat them. If someone's causing a problem, that's what we should do, is we should go. Bro, it's so wild.
See what I'm saying? So again, and like also put the scenario in their head. It's like
it keeps like smirking too. Like I wonder if he like knows. I wonder if this like is a conscious grift. Maybe he just doesn't actually believe any of this. I don't know. Maybe that's just me coping.
Okay, if the cow lives a full and long life and then dies, can you eat the meat? And you'll see them the gears turn their head. They're like, oh shit, no, because there's technically the cow lived a full and healthy life.
Is that the kind of cows do you think people want to eat? Is like old, decrepit, like cows full of cancer? What if a cow dies of old age? Can we eat it? I mean, you can. I guess they probably wouldn't be opposed to it. But also, that's not where you're gonna get your fucking like A1 certified Angus shit. Like you don't like what? It's an old cow. It died of something like some sort of disease or like cancer or whatever the fuck, and like you just want to eat an animal that's percentage of cancer. You're like, yeah, that's be way better than soy. Okay.
life and it didn't suffer. So now we have to talk about, they can't talk about anything. So then,
Okay, so he is having a hypothetical argument with a vegan here. Which is very impressive that he has constructed this this argument that this hypothetical person can't respond to. That's a very good point.
again, the positives to eating meat. So it has a complete amino acid profile. And what
Complete amino acid profile. I have a headache. Okay. Yeah, no. This is obnoxious. I can only take so much cringe in a sitting, and this is too far. We made it another 5 minutes into the video. It took us an hour less time. Great. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll resume this tomorrow, I guess. I lied when I said I was going to commit to getting through the whole thing. There's just so much bullshit in here I can't help but comment on. Yeah, cool. All right. Have fun. Enjoy.